Welcome to the Bible Lore Expedition, where you and I embark on a journey of discovery. I'm your host, Javen. In the previous episode, we learned about Abram's journey towards Canaan. As Abram journeyed through the land of Canaan with his wife Sarai, a severe famine struck the region. Faced with the scarcity of food and resources, Abram made the decision to temporarily leave Canaan and travel to Egypt, where he hoped to find sustenance and provision. I need to pause right here. I know I just dropped the first hint of the story, but hey, I have a burning message to share. Life can be challenging at times, especially when it comes to providing for the family and managing expenses. Famine is no joke. Financial crunch is tough. The key is to trust in God's provision to meet our needs. I have faced similar situations, and I must admit that some of my choices were not ideal. However, with time, I have come to realize that those decisions may not have led to the best outcome. Spinning back to the story, they approached the borders of Egypt, and Abram began to contemplate the potential risks they might encounter in a foreign land. Concerned for his safety and the safety of his wife Sarai, Abram devised a plan to protect himself. Deeply aware of the customs and practices of the ancient world, Abram knew that if the Egyptians perceived Sarai's beauty, they might be inclined to take her for themselves, potentially endangering his own life in the process. Therefore, Abram instructed Sarai to portray herself as his own sister rather than his wife, believing that this would safeguard them from harm. Oh boy, I don't think this is such a good idea. You see, back in the day, it was like a wild west of sneaky moves and tricky games when faced with tough situations. Let's be real. Fibbing about relationships is just like juggling dynamite after it's lit. In our story, sure enough, as Abram and Sarai entered Egypt, Sarai's beauty caught the attention of Pharaoh's officials, who praised her beauty to Pharaoh himself. Impressed by Sarai's appearance, Pharaoh took her into his household, unaware of her true relationship with Abram. Now, this is where Abram's grand scheme have gone up in smoke. However, God intervened in this precarious situation to protect Abram, Sarai, and their divine purpose. Despite Abram's deception, God did not abandon them but instead sent plagues upon Pharaoh's house, afflicting him and his household with great suffering. When Pharaoh learned that Sarai was actually Abram's wife and understood the gravity of his mistake, he reproached Abram for deceiving him. Subsequently, he ordered his men to accompany Abram, Sarai, and all their belongings out of Egypt, ending the suffering inflicted upon him and his household. In this narrative, God's intervention serves as a reminder of His faithfulness and sovereignty, even in the midst of human failure and deception. Despite Abram's shortcomings, God remained committed to His covenant promises and protected His chosen ones from harm, ultimately ensuring that His divine plan would be fulfilled. This story highlights the complexities of human behavior and the moral consequences of deception, while also underscoring God's grace and intervention in the face of adversity. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. If so, please follow my podcast on Spotify and enable that notification or bell icon so that you get notified of any new episode that I put out. I'm your host, Javen.